Hello and welcome to the collection on Bad Movie Bad Review. The larger and more obscene this eccentric collection of fringe films becomes, the more I seem to be tempering my prior exuberance and excitability when relating my hobby to other humans. Most likely because there's only so much of the look that the conscious level of my brain can ignore before I acknowledge it and start growling. After all, like most other socially awkward something's not right about hymns, I have a fluctuating need to fit in with those societal circles and groups I trundle past in shopping centres and stare at enviously through gym windows. As such, my hobby has become more of a dirty secret than a source of gleeful and childlike pride. This was inevitable, I suppose. I mean, honestly, what functional adult with actual working higher brain functions would want to hear even the first 60 seconds of a conversation that began with the words, "So I finally found a copy of The Sinful Dwarf in Bernardo's after work yesterday. What's your favourite homicidal midget film?" No, I must be honest with myself and admit the error of expecting to be seen as interesting or even normal should I continue to insist on spending my own children's lunch money on wood panels and paint to build more fire hazard shelving. Well, needs must, and I definitely need somewhere to store the latest additions to the only social talking point I have. Case in point, I can't wait to have a conversation about Terminator Woman. Okay, so what can we surmise from the cover of this gem? We appear to have the titular Terminator Woman ending the absolute shit out of some poor lad there, with what appears to be a lightsaber stripping pole, whilst she's dressed like Michael Jackson. Also, holy god, what has happened to her eyes? Eyes appear to be a theme on the cover of this, considering there is a maniacal pair of them right behind the Terminator Woman. I'm going to assume they belong to the bad guy, but who knows? We also have a little bit of a synopsis, sort of, I guess, on the cover here, which reads, Michael Kesey is Alex Gately. He met Van Damme in Bloodsport. He trained Van Damme in Cyborg. Now he's met his biggest challenge ever. Which doesn't make any sense. Because Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't appear in this film. So that's from what I can gain from that synopsis anyway, is one of the actors has met Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that should be an endorsement to watch this movie, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, so the entirety of this cover is pretty terrible, but it is a release from the now defunct Hollywood DVD redistribution company that was based in Middlesex in England, not Hollywood. Those big liars. And they're kind of known for just getting their hands on whatever the hell they could and slapping terrible artwork like this on it and then shipping it out the door. So, thank you very much, Hollywood DVD.
Je veux Marsalès et mon or, ou la fille mourra.
Un film avec Karen Shepard.
Ça fait vraiment mal.
Elle est sexy.
Vos cuisses sont dures comme du roc.
Désirable. Et fatale.
And let's take a look at the back. Two LA cops, Julie, Karen Shepard, and Jay, Jerry Trimble, must return Marsalis to Africa. To, you know, the country of Africa. To stand trial as the chief state witness against international villain Alex Gately, Michael Kesey, the guy that knows Jean-Claude Van Damme. Gately, into everything from gold smuggling to female slave trade, no men allowed, hijacks the party. What? What party? I think I picked that up wrong. In a vicious shootout, Julie and Jay overcome Gately's men. Gately then has Julie kidnapped from one of his nightclubs. He tries to use Julie as bait to get Jay to hand over Marsalis in exchange for Julie. Ellipses. And that's it. Pretty dreadful. We do have some special features here. Scene selection and trailer. Ooh. Likelihood of watching? Maybe. No, definitely. Next up, we have Voodoo Academy. Right, it's all going on now. In particular, my eyes are drawn to the skulls that someone has very cleverly placed inside the O's of the word voodoo. That's very clever and very scary. There's two taglines here. The first one says, "They're about to be taught the true meaning of fear at the Voodoo Academy." Which, like, that kind of implies that, is that what they're learning there? They're going there to be taught the true meaning of fear? Is it like a philosophy class or something? I don't know. But then, considering that this person who I'm assuming is their teacher is dressed in lingerie, Christ knows what she's going to teach these children. We have the second tagline down the bottom, which is, "Getting in is tough, getting out is hell." That's also very clever. Very clever play on words. And then, of course, a squad of pubescent people at the bottom there, all looking extremely miserable. Pretty terrible altogether. Before we take a look at the back and the synopsis, let's take a look at the trailer.
You have no idea what you're messing with here, son.
You must punish him, Reverend.
We have another offering from the Kudo tonight.
Can I pour the wine, madam?
I wonder if it hurts.
Yeah, scary stuff. Incidentally, I didn't realize this up until I just searched for the trailer, but I put in the search term Voodoo Academy trailer into YouTube, and the second search result featured a topless man in what absolutely looked every single bit like a still from a David DeCoteau film. So I had to go and check, because there was no director's credits on the back of this cover, so I checked on IMDb, and sure enough, Voodoo Academy is a David DeCoteau film, which absolutely goes a long way to explaining why there are so many teenage boys on the cover and in the trailer. I've seen a few of David DeCoteau's films, and I think I've kind of got an idea of how this film might kind of pan out. Maybe, probably involving topless children and shower sequences, extended shower sequences. But yeah, so on the back we have a repeat of the title, Voodoo Academy, of course, still with the skulls. We have someone there who, again, I'm assuming is a teacher, who is touching a child. We also have three of the most vapid, soulless-looking bastards I have ever seen in my entire life. I truly, truly hope they are murdered horribly in this film. So let's take a look at the synopsis then. A teenager There you go. Teenagers. This is a David DeCoteau film. Of course there's going to be teenagers. A teenager uncovers the horrifying truth as he enters a religious training school run by a seductive headmistress. Hogwarts the Saint. As the headmistress's aim is to raise an ancient voodoo army of the undead, as one by one the students are transformed into ceremonial dolls to awaken the powers of Satan. Oh dear. Yeah, so pretty awful altogether. I have a very good idea of what to expect in this film. However, according to the cover, it does say, featuring Huntley Ritter from The Wedding Planner. So, the film has that going for it. But they've actually put a decent bit of effort into this, despite the absolutely pathetic artwork on the front. You know, skulls inside of O's notwithstanding. It's actually a double-sided cover, so I mean, we have chaptering on the inside cover here, which in and of itself features topless children. Again, David DeCoteau film. But yeah, even the DVD itself is printed. It's not just been drawn on with a marker pen. I guess they had high hopes, high expectations for this particular release of Voodoo Academy by David DeCoteau. Chances of ever actually watching this film? It's David DeCoteau, so I'm kind of obliged, so definitely. Next up we have Ice Queen. With possibly the laziest and most generic and non-committal tagline that I've maybe ever seen on a cover of a film. To die for. How enticing. Well, I guess at least we know what it is that we're dying for, or at least by, considering that who I'm assuming who is the Ice Queen herself, is absolutely front and center of this cover, kind of not really leaving much to the imagination, to be fair. Although, for all we know, the rest of her body is boobs busting out of an Elsa costume, who knows. The font's terrible, the makeup's pretty awful, and it's directed by Neil Kinsella. Good for him. So before taking a look at the synopsis, let's take a look at the trailer.
Science has awakened her.
Make this drop by sundown, we walk away with 500 grand.
Mankind has trapped her.
The plane's flying awfully low.
Disaster has buried her.
Come on, let's get out of here!
one by one, everyone at Killington Mountain.
Where were we gonna hit?
In an airplane.
Will pay.
What was that?
I don't know. It's her.
That looks absolute shit. Frankly, I'm pretty sure he said Killington Mountain in that trailer. Ugh. Okay, so let's take a look at the back. We have here, in terms of imagery, a repeat of the title of the film, of course, and then some very, very heavily oversaturated, scary shenanigans, featuring a woman who is mildly shocked by something taking place, then someone who, well, there's the Ice Queen herself, a man and a corpse, a man and his favourite corpse, maybe, a woman with a broken neck, and then two people staring at a pile of special effects. So in terms of synopsis, Dr. Franz Goddard is escorting what he believes to be the archaeological find of the century. A female humanoid from the Ice Age, recently discovered sealed in a tomb of amber deep in the Amazon forest. He has That wasn't the Amazon forest. Whatever. He has quietly arranged for a small twin-engine plane to sneak the Ice Queen into the United States under the radar. So was it an Ice Queen that was found in the Amazon forest? Questioning it even at this early stage is just going to give me a headache. So what else do we have? In terms of special features, we have an animated menu. Well, holy shit. Chances of ever watching? Probably not.
Ice Queen.
Okay, last up for this focus section of this episode, we have Spice World the movie. Yes, Spice World the movie. I think I probably would have purchased this anyway, but what really, really spoke to me when I saw this was that it's in Chinese. Or at least what I thought would be Chinese. I was praying to God that this film, that the audio itself would be in Chinese, but as far as I can tell, it's actually not. But that is beside the point. As I said, you know, I would have purchased this anyway because I have issues. But yeah, on the cover we have, as you might expect, the 5 Spice Girls. There they are. They're standing in front of a sparkly Union Jack, and they all look like absolute pricks. There's really nothing else to say about this other than the disgusting colour of the actual font for the film that they've chosen. It's like a pus green, it's disgusting. Well, apart from that, there is also possibly the most interesting aspect to the cover of this, is that there is a sticker at the bottom that says, "Not suitable for children." Who's it for? Who is this film for if it's not suitable for children? Makes no sense to me whatsoever, but then there's no classification that I can see, so the BBFC didn't get their hands on this or didn't think it was worth actually classifying, or maybe it just did come from China, who knows. But yeah, I suppose we better look at the trailer.
When the world is in trouble, when our future is in danger, we call upon one man. But when he's busy, he calls 5 girls. Columbia Pictures presents The Spice Girls.
All right, we're coming.
In their film debut, Victoria, Emma, Mel B, Jerry, and Mel C. They're ready for action. Girl power. They're dressed to kill.
Do you want that shaken or stirred?
Jesus God. Yeah, so on the back, there's obviously photos of the fucking Spice Girls. Elton John, Richard E. Grant, and then just... read the goddamn synopsis. A documentary, a thriller, with a little romance and a lot of comedy. I don't believe any of those words. Not one of those things are in this film. Spice World the movie chronicles 5 crazy days in the girls' hectic schedule in the run-up to their first live concert at the Royal Albert Hall. Fantastic adventures, dramatic chases, and an all-star cast combine to show us the kaleidoscopic world of the most extraordinary girls you are ever likely to encounter. As we hurtle through the metropolis on the trail of the Spice Bus, from photo shoots to dance rehearsals, TV shows, glitzy parties, and pounding nightclubs, we join voracious paparazzi, hordes of noisy fans, a bungling documentary film crew, and even... fuck all of this film. Absolutely. I don't care if it's in Chinese or not. As amazing as it would be to watch this film with the Chinese audio track, no. Okay, chances of watching this film. Absolutely not. No, I said absolutely not. For fuck's sake, fine. The rest of the new additions are as follows. The Master Demon. Critters 3, You Are What They Eat, starring Leonardo DiCaprio in his film debut. There he is there. Hollow Man 2. Basket Case 3. RoboCop, Crash and Burn, in which he tries to shoot his own prime directives. Shark in a Bottle. The Driller Killer. In the Name of the King, 2 Worlds. Stormageddon, Earthquake vs. Tsunami. Puppet Master. World of the Dead, The Zombie Diaries 2. Tornado Warning. Primary Suspect, There is Nothing Colder Than the Truth. Wing Commander. Bride of Chucky. And Racing Stripes, featuring Dustin Hoffman, Whoopi Goldberg, and a fucking zebra. Thank you for watching. And, as per usual, if you wish to engage in a bitter and acrimonious YouTube comments war over which one of these films proves I am wasting my time the most, then leave a comment below.